Okay, so tonight we are having smothered pork chops. I have 2 packages of center cut pork chops, and I am just going to cook them up and then put some cream of mushroom and some French onion soup on top. And then I'm gonna bake it and use some of these crispy onions on top. For a side, we are gonna have some green beans and then also some biscuits. And I'm gonna make some rice to go along with it. So stick around and see how this turns out. I'm gonna start by seasoning the tops of my pork chops. So what I'm doing is adding some salt, pepper, and then some body complete. After spraying some cooking spray into the pan, I am going to cook both sides of each pork chop and then put it in the baking dish. I am not going to cook the pork chops all the way through since I will be baking them in the oven for at least 30 minutes, and they'll cook through in the oven. Now I'm seasoning the other side of the pork chop with the same seasonings I used before, the salt, pepper, and body complete. Once the pork chops are brown on each side, I am going to remove them and put them in the baking dish and then add my remaining pork chops to cook in the pan. Like I said, I'm not cooking them all the way through, but they were almost cooked through. Once all of my pork chops are finished cooking and in the pan, now I'm going to add my cream of mushroom soup. I ended up finding another can of cream of mushroom soup in my pantry, so I decided to use 2 cans of cream of mushroom instead of the French onion, because I've never used that before and I wasn't exactly sure what it would look like or taste like, so I just went with what I knew. Maybe next time I will be more adventurous. I also found a can of sliced mushrooms in the pantry, and I thought that would go really well with this dish, so I drained the can of mushrooms and then I put those on top and just smoothed them over the pork chops before putting them in the oven to bake. I'm baking them in a 350-degree oven for about 30 minutes. And then once they've cooked through, I'm going to add the French onion, like crispy French onions to the top. I ended up using the entire bag. It just seemed like it needed the whole bag. Honestly, I don't know about you guys, but I love those French onion little crispies, but I only usually use them at Thanksgiving for green bean casserole. And they tasted so good on this dish. I highly recommend using them. And I got the ones from Aldi. I don't think they have them there all the time, at least not at my Aldi, and they were really good. do great with cooking canned green beans and making them taste really good. So here I tried adding some butter to my green beans, probably about 2 to 3 tablespoons, and some pepper. And then I just let it cook for probably about 25-30 minutes, let it cook down and just get really good. I think these are the best green beans I've ever made, to be honest. Usually they just end up tasting like warm canned green beans. So I was pretty happy with how they turned out. And then you see me here putting some canned biscuits on a pan to bake in the oven. This is just something good to have on the side, right? Everybody loves warm biscuits. After I add the French fried onions on top of the smothered pork chops, I bake it for another 10 minutes just so it gets nice and warm and crispy. I was very happy with how this turned out. So this is how everything turned out. Like I said, I was really happy with it. It tasted so good. I highly recommend that you give it a try. Great, easy, simple dinner for, the weekday or the weekend. Also, I did make some white rice in my rice cooker, and it just was a great meal. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and maybe give it a try yourself. Have a great day, guys. Bye!